I'm here with my niece. This is my oldest niece. She's the most awesome oldest niece that I've ever had. Her name is Madi Ucles Faye Patrick. The Ucles was not given to her by her parents.
It was given to me by my uncle.
Yeah, by her uncle. Not really given. It was earned.
It was earned.
Earned, absolutely. So we're here out watching the sunrise in Cache Valley up against the Wellsvilles. And we've had an awesome morning so far, but I want to get to the nitty gritty. So anyway, answer these however you will. You don't have to go very deep at all if you don't want to, but know that part of the reason that I'm doing this is because I like to be able to help other people through sharing my own story. And I think you have stories and insight and experience that can help bless other people. So, all right. What is your definition of darkness and light, metaphorically speaking?
So
I'm gonna move this real quick so that it's not like
I can't look at it.
You don't have to look at it. Don't worry.
It's like kind of like a light switch, where darkness is like the part where you're fumbling around looking for the light switch, and then like the light is where you get your answers. So the darkness is the faith part of our waiting period before we get our answers and like clarity.
Yeah. So based on that definition, which I really like that definition, what would you say that you've ever experienced a sunrise in your life?
So the one that comes to mind is like a little, like right when I turned 16. It's like right when, I don't know, it was like a big shift in my life because I'm in high school now. I'm getting to the point where I can date. I was trying to decide if I was going to quit soccer and run, which was like a huge decision because it changes exactly what I do with my day. It changes, like, I don't know, my lifestyle.
It's a big part of who you are,
yeah, it's
too.
a big part of who I am, yeah. So that was like a really big decision. I don't know, I had a lot of big decisions coming up, and the darkness part of it was that I had all these questions that I needed answered and I wasn't getting anything. And then all at that time I was going through a period of time where I was like disconnected with God, but I was like doing everything. I was reading my scriptures every night, I was praying, and I just like couldn't get the connection at all. I couldn't figure out why. It was so frustrating because I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong.
Yeah.
But it was like God was like hearing it, but not listening to it, and like not wanting to help me out with it. And then one day I was in a terrible mood because I had been trained, like it was Sunday. I was
Naturally.
in a terrible mood because it was 9:00 church. And I had like prayed really hard that day that I would like get a connection, and I couldn't get anything. It was like a dead end. And then I went to church, and my teacher walked in for our lesson, and I can't remember where we were in the Come Follow Me thing, or not the Come Follow Me, but our lesson was supposed to be on like Fast Sunday or something. And she came in and said, I know this is like completely unexpected, but I had a feeling that we needed to talk about patriarchal blessings today, and so that's what we're gonna do. Which I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. But as soon as she started talking, I was like, oh my goodness, like this is my connection that I've been needing, because I like started bawling in the middle of class, which I've never done before. But that lesson was like totally for me. So I went home that day, and it was funny because that day too, my mom asked me like, when are you thinking about getting your blessing? Like, have you thought about it at all? So after that lesson, I went home and talked to my mom about getting it, and we set a date and got it all set. And then I walked into the house and I got my blessing. And I have never had a connection like that with God. It was so strong. Not all of my questions were answered, but most of them, I would say more than 50%. Which was really, really crazy because it was totally a sunrise. Like, I had been doing all the work to have a connection with God, to have my questions answered. I had been praying, I had been going to church, reading my scriptures, all in faith, in the dark, not getting a connection. And then all of a sudden it was like the light switch like flipped, and like I hadn't had and then as soon as the lights flipped, like the lights came on, my prayers were meaningful. Like, I actually started feeling God again in my life, even when I was like at school. So it was like I don't know, it was a pretty crazy period to like, it was a really drastic change.
Yeah.
Which is how light and dark is. Like, it's a pretty drastic flip.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't know.
That's a really beautiful story, Maddie. So some of the feelings that you had, what would you say those feelings were like? How would you describe them, like before and after?
Before and after?
Yeah.
There was a lot of frustration. But the disconnected part was like, I don't know, like Papa had his old phone, right? And it would, if you picked it up, it would just like ring, you know, like just buzz. But there was nothing over on the other end. It was kind of like that, like there was a one-way call going through.
Yeah.
But no one was picking up. That's kind of what it felt like, I guess.
Yeah.
And then after, like, I don't know, it was kind of felt like getting hit by a bus, actually. It was like, oh, it was unexpected how powerful it was.
Yeah.
And it was like, really, really clear, I guess. Like, a lot of things, I don't know, it was just really clear all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly.
That's cool. All right. Next question. What is a life lesson that you've learned from that experience?
Patience.
Yeah.
The big one was faith. Like, it would have been really easy to just say, okay, I guess I'm done too. Like, I'm not going to keep putting in the work. You know?
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It was like the faith period of it that was like patience and like to continue working at it. I don't know. I think the dark is like where we grow, and the light is like where we get recognized for that growth, I feel like, kind of. Or we can recognize like our growth in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if there's like an exact life lesson that I learned out of it.
That's perfect. Okay, so what about the word wholehearted? What is the definition of that word to you?
It's kind of hard to like describe. Being into what, like 100% into what you're doing, and being like, I don't know, satisfied, knowing that you're satisfied like with what you're doing, I guess. I don't know, it's just like be living in your in the moment.
Yeah.
And being satisfied with that, like you're being very present, I think.
So who's somebody that represents wholehearted to you, and how have they impacted your life?
Probably my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one thing that I think of as wholehearted is like at state. I don't remember much of state, but during the race, every time I went by, I could always hear my dad like screaming. But the way that he was wholehearted in it is that like he wasn't running, but it looked like he was running. Like it felt like he was running the race. And after we were going over it, and it was like he was running the race with me. He was, every time I saw him, he was like screaming and jumping around, and like he was running the course more than I was.
Yeah.
But he was like completely into the moment, even though it wasn't like, I don't know, he was like in my moment too.
Yeah.
Even though it was like his own moment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So how has that impacted you, having an example like that? Like, what does that do for you?
Well, like when I grow up, like I want to do that for my kids. Like he was so present in like my experience. That was a huge race for me, and he was present there the entire time, even though it was like my individual thing. But he went through the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, it sets an example for me because I want to do that for my kids. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be in their race, even though I'm not running. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it was a good example.
Yeah. Okay, so what are you doing in your own life to be wholehearted? And kind of coupled with that is, who does shame say that you are? Like, how does fear and doubt try and control your life? Like, what does it say that you can or can't do?
So how am I being wholehearted?
Yeah.
What shame say I am?
Yeah. Maybe start with, what is who does shame say that you are?
Okay. I don't really like ever really thought about shame. Like I don't feel that shameful or anything, but I feel it. My biggest doubts kick in for running.
Yeah.
Every year, right when the season rolls around, I always feel like like I've gotten slower, that I'm not gonna be able to be fast enough, which is against everyone's expectations. Like, I don't know, like I'm scared to run because I'm scared to like let myself down and not do as well as I thought I could. So it's like not being able to live up to my expectations. So shame, I don't know, like I guess it's saying like I'm a failure in a way.
Yeah.
So it's never fun.
Yeah.
It's never a good one.
So how do you combat that?
I don't really know, like I'll put this in running, but I always put it in running terms, but every year we always do the time trial, and that is like, I get so nervous for the time trial, because it's like the moment to see if I have gotten faster or not, I guess.
Yeah.
To see if I'm like actually gonna meet my expectations. I always get a blessing before the time trial.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I just feel calm until I run. And when I run, I feel good. Like, I don't know, when I don't feel like I'm fitting expectations, I do go run, because then I can just think to myself all the time.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about running is there's like not actually expectations.
Yeah.
Because it changes on a daily basis on what you're going to be able to do, because you feel different every day. So, I don't know, combating is just like a day-to-day process. And it's different every day and how it works. some days I'll go run to get rid of that feeling. Other days I'll have to do something productive, like, I don't know, like even if it's like cleaning my room, I'm not a failure for that day because I've done something productive other than just laying around and doing nothing. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so what about wholehearted? How are you choosing to be wholehearted?
I have no idea. I do think that a lot of times I am very present. Like, I don't know, I think I'm able to be in the moment a lot. But I don't really know how, like, it just kind of comes, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I think being in the moment is not really focusing on, like, the past or the future. You're just enjoying where you are now. But I don't know how you do that, like, other than you just don't worry about what's coming.
Yeah.
And, like, enjoy your moment at the time. Because, like, who knows if you're gonna do it again or, like, how much time you have there. I don't know any of that.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how I'm being wholehearted.
It sounds like it comes pretty natural.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'm naturally wholehearted.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But yeah, I think so. I don't really know how to be wholehearted other than just enjoy it,
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, honestly though, you are a really good example of being wholehearted to me. And I feel like you've always been that way. I think that's something that you genuinely have is a inherent quality. That's probably why it doesn't seem like you have to do a whole lot of work for it. Which makes me a little jealous, being real. But I think that's one of the coolest things about everything I know about you is your commitment and resolve, and not just to trying to be better than others, but be your best self. And to me, that's what's most important, is learning how to become the best version of my own self and be the master of my own decisions, instead of letting the world around me just kind of dictate that. So thank you for your example, Maddie.
You're welcome.
You're the best, Ucles. Thanks for getting up and watching the sunrise with me.
Yeah, that was fun. It's really bright.
Yeah, it is really bright. You're getting blinded, huh?